Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Yay! We made it to Thursday. Thursday is our Friday, so that is why the smiles are extra big today and this morning. Welcome to Run It Back. My name's Michelle. Lou Will, Danny Green, Shams Charania from Chicago. He and I we got the memo. We are ready to go. We had regular games back in action last night, you guys. Wow, the Clippers era has begun, beating the Nuggets 111-102. And Jokic did have a triple-double. Paul George with 25 and 8. As I said, Jokic with a triple-double, 22, 15, and 10. Afterwards, Ty Lue said that the Clippers have found who they are and that it was a big step in the right direction. Do you agree?
I agree with the big step. I don't know, finding who they are this early. I think they still need some more games to get more of a rhythm. This was a big win for them, for sure. But considering the fact Jokic had a really, I would say, off night for him.
Yeah. And
Jamal Murray is still fresh with getting back and finding himself. But this still is a big win, but I don't think Denver's at full strength. But they're in the right direction. I think it's going to take some more time for them to find who they are because it is inconsistent with Russ coming off the bench, his minutes, James finding and picking his spots and shooting. Obviously, Jamal Murray wants him to shoot more. We talked about that. So I think there's still going to be some time for them to find themselves.
I love the fact that Jamal Murray, I don't even know how this came to be, but he said he really does think James Harden should shoot more. What's he doing?
Look, if the Clippers beat me and James Harden takes 10 shots and you go out after the game and say, I would like for him to shoot more, sounds like sabotage to me. I don't think he's genuinely concerned about what the Clippers are doing and who's taking what shots at what points of the game. This sounds like Jamal Murray wants this to be beneficial for the Denver Nuggets.
I think it's also the fan in Jamal seeing James being James. And it's a different look to seeing James being so passive. I do think he wants to win the game.
Of course
so he's telling James to shoot more, but I think it's just weird for him to see James in that role and less aggressive as himself and with the Clippers.
Wait, if you were James Harden and an opposing member of the team said that, would you take it as an insult?
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be something
Depends on how they say it.
Yeah. Depends on context.
Yeah.
Depends on context and tone, but if I'm James, I'm giving Jamal Murray one of these.
What you mean by that?
Why are you talking about me at all?
Why you care?
Exactly. I kind of love it. It's a nice little moment. Jokic, as we mentioned, it was an off night. Still had the triple-double, but he was 9 of 32. That 23 misses thing is the worst so far for him. It's not anything to worry about. I mean, that's just an off night. By the way, an off night for Jokic is still a triple-double. That's something.
No, he's very good. Obviously, Clippers have been playing well defensively. That's the one thing they have been doing since the trade. And last night they showed that they're capable of playing that end of the floor. So I think it's something positive to take from them playing great defense on him, and some other teams can look at that to maybe take something from the Clippers against him. But ultimately, I think there is no stopping Jokic, and he just had an off night.
And watching this game, I felt like he was getting shots that he normally does. And a lot of those were misses, putbacks, little bunnies, little jump hooks, shots that he usually makes. I thought this was a bad night. And then once he started the game 0 for 7. And after that, if you're a scorer, if you're one of those guys that the team is looking for you to score, getting off to a slow start, you're going to start chasing a little bit, trying to get you an easy bucket, and it just wasn't going his way. So this stat line, it's pretty bad, but I just think that was a product of him trying to right the ship and get back on the right track after starting so slow.
Shoot himself out of it somehow. All last year we talked about there's no way to defend him. There has to be a way. But what is it?
Well, he's such a good passer, it's hard to double and triple him. So when you have he has that many pieces, weapons around him that are that dangerous, it's impossible. The only way to guard him is if you lose those pieces around him.
Take him out.
Yeah.
Or maybe they found some. Make him be the primary scorer.
Yeah.
Take away his passing lanes. Maybe not trap him.
That's stopping them, but not necessarily him.
Correct.
So you just let him go and then deal with everybody else.
Yeah, if you're trying to stop Jokic, it's probably going to be impossible. But if you go into a game and say, hey, we can live with him going to get 30, 35 points, but these other guys are going to have to play under that and limit some of their touches, I think you give yourself an opportunity. So I don't know, maybe the Clippers found something.
Possible.
That's according to Ty Lue. They figured it out. He had missed 13 of his last 14 with the hamstring and ankle injuries. Jamal Murray, though, was back. Shams, talk to me about the impact he has on his team.
I mean, he has a massive impact. 23 points, 6 assists in 29 minutes last night. For the Nuggets, it's just about getting Jamal Murray through the regular season, getting him healthy. We know what he does in the playoffs. 26, 25 points per game score come playoff time, around 17 points over his career in the regular season. So when the lights are brightest, you know he's going to step up. But for Jamal Murray, what I've noticed, and I think it's clear, is he likes to be 100% ready, and he likes to be 100% on the floor. It took him 3-4 weeks to manage through this hamstring injury. A couple of years ago, I remember he was pretty much cleared to return from an ACL, but for him, it's impacting the team at a high capacity. He wants to play when he's 100%, and he's able to give it his all. We saw last night, even though he played less than 30 minutes, he played at a high level. He's the closer on a lot of nights. So getting Jamal Murray healthy through the regular season, getting him into the playoffs, that's going to be the biggest thing for the Nuggets.
Another game last night, Nets, Hawks. This one was a thriller. It came down to the wire. Nets defeat the Hawks 114-113, but Trae Young misses the final shot. We'll get to that here in a second. There were big shots from Bridges and Trae down the stretch. 43 lead changes in this one. It's the most since the NBA actually started tracking that back in '96. Bridges finished with 32. He was 12 and 19. Trae Young with 30. But of course, the final play of the game, we're going to look at it again because Trae misses it, but thinks he's called. He should be getting a call for a foul here. And I want y'all's opinion on whether or not he was actually fouled.
I gotta get it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe the bump.
Maybe.
I think his speed and the inertia was taking him off his balance, but I don't see contact there. It looked like a pretty clean play, a great defensive play. And that point in the game, referees, I think, are not going to call unless it's very blatant.
Right.
Depending on who you are. I mean, Trae is a superstar.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anything significant enough to where you make a decision as a referee.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, it's marginal at best. I feel like, for the game right here, I would like for Trae to go get a straight up shot instead of a little foul bait. This play, and not even leave it in the referee's hands, especially with the reputation that he has of just going at referees. Man, just go get a bucket. Who's gonna stop Trae Young right there at the top of the key from going to get a bucket if he just really puts his mind to it and decides not to even worry about going to get a foul? And so, I don't know. It's debatable, but it didn't look like much to me.
No, but it did look like a heck of a flop. I mean, he flew all the way to out of bounds. That's pretty good.
So don't even put it in a position where it's questionable.
No,
you know what I mean?
Don't. Look, they lost in the first round last season. We all remember that. Right now they're 9-11, which puts them in the 10th spot in the East. Would you consider? I know it's early. Everything I ask from here on until March, I'm going to say I know it's early. But is it disappointing so far, Lou?
I would say so. This team was built to win. They're not in a rebuild. They're not built to be a 500 basketball team. They brought in Quinn Snyder, which is a proven coach that knows what he's doing. You get rid of Kevin Huerter, and you put your chips in Dre Hunter's hands, and so this is a team. And you go out and get DeJounte Murray last year. So this is a team that's put the pieces in order for them that they felt like would make them successful going down the stretch of seasons and were built to win. And so for it not to be coming into fruition for this group, I would say they're off to a disappointing start.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because the expectation is to get better each year.
Right.
And I think they've kind of been, they've made a lot of moves, they've made some trades, they've gotten some additions to help Trae get off the ball some. They got the pieces they wanted. They're not rebuilding. They brought in pieces to win and be a playoff team. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years ago. And since then, I feel like they got, I wouldn't say progressively worse. They've kind of just stayed.
Plateaued a little bit. Do they need something else? Like if you had to.
You know what I think? As a fan of this group and finishing my career there, stability is needed in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
They've had a lot of turnover in front office. This is probably Trae's, I think, it may be his 5th coach in his short career so far, and so they need some stability, and with the roster as well. You kind of got to have an opportunity to get to know what you're going to get out of the teammates that you have, and so stability is what's needed for this group, I think.
All right, I'm glad you brought that up because we do want to talk about Trae Young, Shams. It's obviously not his best season, shooting a career low. He is on his 5th coach. And he has a bit of a reputation, unfortunately, for having weird relationships with some of the coaches. So far with Quinn Snyder, what's it looking like?
I think last year when Quinn Snyder came aboard, it was a fork in the road. Like Trae Young, all eyes were on him. How is he going to handle Quinn Snyder coming in? A lot of coaches have been through Atlanta. And so when Quinn Snyder came in, he's getting $8 million per year, 5-year deal. That's not just a coach you're just bringing in and you're just testing out. That's their star coach, and they wanted to see how he would behave with Quinn Snyder. And by all accounts, from everything I heard, he spent the summer refocusing, refreshed. We know how rocky last season was with Trae Young and Nate McMillan. And I think what people on the Hawks have seen now is a guy that's fully focused, fully bought in, someone that's comfortable around Quinn Snyder. And I think Quinn Snyder has enjoyed spending time with Trae Young. And I think both their relationships so far has been pretty on point. Like they're building a relationship, they're building a level of trust. And Trae Young finally has a coach that he can look at, he can respect, someone that's thought of as a superstar head coach in Atlanta. But eventually the wins are going to have to be there. I'm curious, Lou played with Trae, Danny's played against Trae. So, like, as a teammate of Trae, how do you view this potential relationship? And as a competitor against Trae, how have you guys perceived just how his career in Atlanta is?
I would like for Trae to just embrace Quinn. Quinn is a coach that knows what he's doing. He knows his X and O's. You know, he's going to put Trae in a position to be successful and put him on spots on the court where scoring is going to be easier for him. And so I would like Trae total buy-in. And I've been there with him, and he's had some trust issues with coaches in the relationships as well. And so he's probably a little apprehensive, and that's fair. Like, again, he needs some stability. You know, when you bring in your fifth coach for a guy so early in his career, it's hard for him to really buy in and trust somebody. And so Quinn is the guy. And so I would like for him to embrace that, embrace not being on the ball as much, playing the two, getting used to that, and see what happens.
Yeah, his numbers will come. It's only a matter of time. But the fact that he's building this relationship is very important. And I think Quinn can teach him how to lead the right way with this group. Like Lou was saying, they need more stability with their not just the coaching staff, but they need more time together, but with their players. You don't know there's a lot of inconsistencies. You don't know who's going to show up which night. And I think the more that Trae becomes the leader they expect him to be, the better the pieces around him will be and more consistent. So they'll have more maturity as he matures.
Why trust issues? Like how does that even happen? Just anybody who comes in, you're just sort of apprehensive?
Yeah, because you're buying in.
Yeah.
You have a coach put in the system, boom, end of the year, he's gone. You have a new coach come in, now I'm the guy. And new system, same thing, no success, he's gone.
Keep going.
And so so after your third or fourth experience like that, it's like
why get attached?
Yeah, why get attached or why buy in? Like, this dude's probably not going to be here long, so why would I care?
And the losses probably can.
Right. Yeah.
If you're not winning or getting better, and you're putting your faith in a coach of like, we're gonna try this, and it doesn't work,
right.
and you're losing, you're not getting the results you want, then it's like, why would I trust this?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
you don't know what you're doing.
Nate McMillan was on the fringes of losing that job, and then you go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's like, well, we have to give this another shot, even though the relationship between Trae and Nate, it wasn't there, but you have some success, and so you have to try this again, and then you start that next season, and we're back to square one. You know, you're not having success again, and so then Nate gets fired, and now you bring in Quinn, and so listen, this young dude he's been through a lot in Atlanta, and he's trying to do the best that he can, but you know, so from an organizational standpoint, they have to put him in a position where he knows what's going to be the infrastructure moving forward.
All right, fair enough. On the other side of things, Mikal Bridges last year averaged 26. He's around 23 right now. That's not a crazy margin. No. I mean, we're trending up, right?
I mean, 3 points.
Yeah,
And it's early.
Make that up in a couple games.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough.
Still above 20.
Like, he still can score at a high clip. I think also the fact that his teammates are playing better. They have Cam Thomas in the lineup now. He's getting some more shots. Guys are healthier. And you know, Ben Simmons was there earlier. You know, Cam Johnson. They have a plethora of wings that can do a multitude of things. So having those guys and be able to trust those guys, Dinwiddie, it's probably him being more team-oriented and trying to buy into that instead of, you know, because we know he can go out and get a bucket. So if he wanted to average 26, I think he could, but he's more of trying to build these younger guys' confidence and build some chemistry with the group he has.
Look, they're sitting at 9th right now. I always wonder this in all sports. When you're a team that's sort of stuck in that purgatory middle area, not bad enough to bottom out, not good enough to be at the top, what do you do?
Well, that's a personnel question. You know, from a player standpoint, our job is to go out on the floor, compete, and give ourselves an opportunity to win basketball games. As far as what do you do moving forward to get off of that slide, that's a personnel thing. That's something that the front office is going to have to address moving forward for this group.
if I put my GM hat on, I think they have a lot of pieces, a lot of similar pieces, and I think you use a good amount of those to get the superstar you want or what you're missing. And that could be a pure point guard, that could be another big man, but you have a lot of 3-and-D wings that are valuable, and you can use those guys to pick up a really good piece that you think you're lacking or need.
That seems to be the theme. It's like too many of the same when the team is stuck.
Yeah.
It seems easy enough to fix.
Everybody's trying to go in a small ball, and it's kind of experimental right now, and it's not working for some teams.
Can we just, this is my favorite. We're going to just show video. It's like a resume video, a loop, if you will, because we had a couple games last night. Desmond Bane, a career high. He heard y'all. 49 points, smashing his previous that was at 38. Second player in franchise history to record at least 45 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And of course, they defeated, it was the Pistons, but still, for their 6th win of the season. How about Joel Embiid? Fitty, 19 of 28 from the field, 11 of 13 from the line, 6th career 50-point game. Its first career game reaching at least 50 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, and of course they defeat the Wizards. They improve to 13-7 on the season. Love it. Who had the more impressive game? I mean, it's a good problem to have.
I'm gonna go with Desmond Bane.
All right.
We've seen this from Joel before.
Sure.
We've seen Joel get 50, 60 at one point. We've seen him get 50 a couple times. Desmond Bane, to put it up in this efficient, his first almost 50 ball was pretty impressive, and I had him in my top 5 shooters just the other day, so he's making me look good.
I like what Danny said. This is Desmond Bane's first one, so I'm going to give him the edge. But if you look at it, they had identical stat lines, man. They both were very efficient. Desmond Bane's missed 11 shots, and I think Joel missed 10. But one guy had 8 assists, the other one had 7. They had identical stat lines, but this being his first one, kudos to him. I give him the edge.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, because Memphis was mad at you guys yesterday, so it feels like just a nice
Show
sort
some
of.
They got time, man. They got time. They can turn it around. You never know.
It's going to happen. Here's the thing, though, because if you were flipping through channels and you saw the final score, it was Sixers, Wizards, and it was close. The fact that Embiid had to have 50 for them to win that game, you would think that that would be the kind of game where he would be able to get a little bit of rest.
Well, you got to give some credit to Washington as well. They're still pros.
You hope that you get rest.
You hope that you get rest.
It is still the NBA, and any given night, you can lose to any NBA team.
Are you shocked? I mean, I guess somebody
Not
shows
at all.
up.
No, listen. Washington, they're going to win some games this year, so they have to beat somebody and give them some credit. They're trying to compete at a high level and trying to get this thing going into a direction where they can put some games together and be proud of what they're doing. And so they're going to compete and they're going to give themselves an opportunity. And so him having 50 and then winning by 5 points is not a glaring thing. Washington, they're pros too.
You also have to take into account all these teams have been off for a while.
That's true.
And Philly was integrating new guys that were unhealthy coming back. Kelly Oubre's first game back.
True.
Everybody trying to find a rhythm. So I think a lot of these games will be close or lopsided, guys coming out of their break. I guess their little winter break that they had.
Yeah, they did get a little break.
Yeah.
Did anybody get to do anything, or you just sort of stayed where you are?
It was some doing.
I think
There was some doing. All right, fair enough. Magic, Cavs, another game we had last night. Cavaliers beating them 121-111. Donovan Mitchell finished with 35, 7, and 6. How about Paolo Banchero with a career-high 42 points? Now, here's the weird thing, Danny. The Cavs are only a game off of last year's 13-8 record at this point in the season. And yet, feels like they're not quite the same. Why?
Yeah, that was a hell of a shot by George, by the way. I don't know if you saw
Friend
that
of the
clip.
show?
Give them some love.
But I think, I go back to what I said earlier. Each year you want to get better.
Yeah.
And they had such a great offseason, you expected more. So the expectation is higher for them. And they had some bad losses, but the record and the way they're playing, it doesn't show like a ton better. They made some great offseason moves. They picked up George Niang. They picked up Max Strus. They got the shooting they need. And for them to be in the same spot, but it seems worse because the expectation is higher, I think that's the reason. We expected more from them.
I want to talk about the backcourt for a second, Mitchell and Garland. I feel like we sort of touched on this a lot last year, but are you satisfied with that as their backcourt as far as making a big run? Yeah,
I mean, they got as much talent as any other group in the Eastern Conference. Excuse me. Those two guys can lead you to a lot of wins. I don't know what's the issue in Cleveland. At sitting at 12-9, it isn't bad. They're over 500 basketball team, but I feel like they should be slightly better.
Right.
I have a high expectation for this team because they got a lot of really good pieces that they can make a good run. And so I don't know what the issue is, but I think this team can do some damage if they get it right.
I'll jump in.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's like,
I talked about this on my pod at the chat,
Yeah.
inside the green room.
Nice, get in
But yeah, we talked about, they're talking about the...
Plug it the right way. You got to plug it the right way.
Yeah, you got to, like, own it.
You got to do it the right way.
It's the combination of the two. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, people talking about playing too big together, and then it's the smaller backcourt. So when you have, I think Darius and Donovan are great scoring, and you have Strus, but all those three wings to compete with the Milwaukee's, the Boston Celtics type of lineups, they're not big enough defensively to guard those type of guys. And I think that's the issue. And also, it makes them slower and you play two bigs at the same time. So I think the combination of all those two groups, I think, is what people are concerned about. And that's why, it's they seem like they're stuck in mud at times.
And if they get stuck, we look at that. The Paolo Banchero of it all, though, have you seen enough? I mean, this is the guy to build around.
I have not seen enough.
Really?
I think he's good, but I don't think I haven't seen enough he hasn't proven to me that he should be the guy right away. They have a lot of good pieces around them, though. And I think it's just need more consistency. But he's playing well. He's also had some games where he hadn't, played as well as we expect him to. They have Franz Wagner over there. He's been playing really well, too. And they have some guys with the bench. They're just playing at a fast pace. And defensive rating in the top 3, top 5, that's helping them win a lot of games.
Do you agree? You have not seen enough, or you have?
I agree. Just hadn't seen enough of it. Still a very young guy, having some success, but, this is a longevity game. This is a consistent game. And so once we see that consistently, I'll give him that. But right now, we hadn't seen enough.
Not enough. Young man. We're taking a quick break right now. When we come back, 3-time WNBA champion Chelsea Gray joins the show.
Run it up, run it back, 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 run it up.
It's time to go get it. It's time to go get it. I'm taking no chances now.
You bet, Chelsea Gray, masterful.
My style too different. My style too different. Best believe I'm showing now. Showing now. Showing now.
All right, she's a 3-time WNBA champ. She's been a Finals MVP, a Commissioner's Cup MVP, 3-time All-WNBA all-time. There's the list, by the way, when we introduce people, Chelsea, this one's a little bit longer than usual. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot going on here.
Very decorated.
But the 3 titles, you got 1 with the Sparks, 2 with the Aces. Does one stand out above the others?
I think this last one stands out a little bit more. Like, we heard so much noise throughout the entire season, and to kind of quiet it that way, it was different for me, right? I wasn't playing in the closeout game, but like this one was just huge because of all the adversity we had hit throughout the entire season.
I like that.
Chelsea, you win a couple MVPs in 2022, so I'm sure it was frustrating for you to miss the closeout game in Game 4 of this past WNBA Finals. What was that like for you? What were your emotions? How did you feel having to sit out and have to cheer on your team from the bench for the closeout game?
Yeah, the competitor in me, like you dream about playing in the finals, and like that closeout game, it's even sweeter to win it on the road. I've never won a championship at home. And so I understand and I love that feeling. And so I had like 24 to 48 hours where it was hard, like just understanding that I wasn't going to be able to play for the rest of the season. Like, even if it went to a Game 5, like I wasn't gonna be able to play. So I took that time and was kind of to myself, but then I came around the team a little bit more, just to see them, and it helped me and it helped them. But I turned into a coach real fast on the sideline, like just yelling out plays, remembering scouting reports. Like I was locked in from the beginning. And then when we won, I threw the crutches and everything. Nothing else mattered.
How's your foot doing now? Hopefully it's doing better.
Yeah, it's doing well. I had a minor surgery on it to get it all repaired, and my foot's feeling better, so I can't wait for next season. Those rings about to be nice.
Chelsea, I don't want to be creepy, but I was actually sitting across from y'all's bench for that closeout game, and you and Candace Parker just chirping at the end. I was like, this is the show within the show, and I just kind of kept watching you two, and it was awesome. That's just my own side note I just wanted to share with you. The Usher situation. The videos that came out were fantastic. But to be invited to the concert as a celebratory moment, how was it? How does all that unfold?
Yeah, well, it was not like broadcasted so much, but I mean, you saw it a little bit, was that we got called on stage before this. So I'm walking up there with the boot, not knowing what the heck to expect. And they played music and we're dancing. So it was a fun vibe. And then he came to our area because Asia had called him out a few times throughout the years. But it was cool, man. He's a great entertainer. His music is like timeless. Like you can listen at any moment. It's like we grew up with his music the entire time. So it was kind of like a nostalgia with it, but like it was super fun and really like get to celebrate it with him as well.
It's a good party.
Chelsea, you guys became the third team ever to go back-to-back WNBA championships. Sparks did it. The Comets did it. Where do you guys rank when it comes to back-to-back champions?
Oh man,
Of course, that's a number.
the legacy and the script is still being written, right? I think the Comets kind of did it first. I think we're working our way to like have that legacy of the Comets of like the inaugural seasons and like being able to do that. But ask me next year, and that'll be the best dynasty. That'll be the best.
Yeah.
You've played with so many talented players throughout the course of your career and had so much success, but you got to tell me, what's it like playing with Asia Wilson? How's that?
She's amazing, man. Like, I came to this team 3 years ago, right? And each year you just see improvements. And I think that's all you want out of, like, your franchise player. Like, they come in, you know, they have a target on their back. Like, you want them to get better each time. And, like, she's added to her game every second. So it makes me look, like, great. Like, there's passes that I make to her. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like you're the only person that's going to be able to catch it right now, so I'm going to just throw it. And she catches it. She has great hands. She has great touch. And like, she's doing it on both ends. Like, to be able to be in shape like that and do it on both ends consistently, it's amazing. And each year she's getting better. So it's a luxury to be able to play with somebody like her. And she's added to her legacy starting at a very young age.
And fun.
Right.
Like she's fun.
Right, super fun. On and off the court, you guys have so much personality and y'all have so much fun. I enjoy watching you guys at the press conference, having a little bit to drink and enjoying that moment. Who would you say is the funniest person on that Aces team?
Man, it's like me sometimes, it's Sydney Colson, it's Asia. Like, everybody has like their own little comedic like time. It's hilarious. And then like sometimes it'll end up being like a viral hit and Sydney's doing something. I don't know. It just like, it's not rehearsed. It's all real. Like, everything is great. And we just have fun. And I think that's the time that you don't get back. So we just be in the moment.
She's like a comedian. Like, some of those videos out there, I'm just like, okay, this is thoroughly entertaining. Not entertaining, however, our dumbasses on radio. And you specifically got to call one out. I'm not going to say his name because I refuse to. But he was the guy that said that the best high school boys team could beat y'all in a game. At what point?
Which is ridiculous,
it's the dumbest thing. But he's a mouth breather. But all of that being said, why? Why do we continue this dumb narrative about disrespecting women's basketball?
You know, I really don't know. Like, there's this old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? Like, I think there's a lot of judgment that happens about our league and about our players around with people that have never seen us play at all, never came to a game. But I don't understand like what made him say that, which is why I just tweeted back dumbass. Like, it was just it was just like that. It was just dumb. It's like, it doesn't deserve like more attention and response. And then it went like crazy. And so I didn't know it was going to have that effect. But it's just like dumb people in this world that just does things just to get attention. And I feel like that's what he did in that moment.
It is a different world, and I don't think they teach that in schools anymore, not to say anything.
No.
People just say whatever to make them relevant. Coach Becky Hammond, I got a chance to have her in San Antonio before she started out. She now has 2 titles. How do you like playing for her, 1? And 2, do you ever see her leaving and becoming a first NBA head coach as a female?
I said this in an interview like a while ago. I think she's the best coach I've ever had. I think she does a great job of being able to hold somebody accountable and be in the moment and enjoy it as well and have fun. That line, she's like always like the best at that. And I think that's why the players that she coaches just love her and just have so much confidence in her. So when she's yelling at us in that fourth quarter, like, we're just like, oh, I know it's from a place from love, you know, and we really appreciate that. And shoot, if she's the first like head coach, it would be legendary. You know, selfishly, I don't want her to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want her even to answer the phone because they might do a great job of bringing her there. But I mean, she's constantly making history. So I'm always going to cheer somebody on that's trying to, you know, make a legacy and be in the history books.
I know I'm torn on that one because on the one hand, I'm like, it'd be awesome if she went back and coached the Spurs, but I don't want her to leave either.
I would love to see it.
No, I don't want to leave.
I get it. There were 5 number 1 draft picks on the floor during the finals this year. So obviously you get that top pick in the WNBA. That's good stuff. If Caitlin Clark leaves this year and decides to enter the draft, like how impactful do you think she'll be right off the bat?
Yeah, I think there's always a learning curve when you get to the league. Like now, no matter how great you are in college, right? Defensively, I feel like it's the hardest part to like adjust to when you get to the league. So that will be an adjustment for her. But she can flat out shoot the rock. You have to be up on the screen. Even I think there's going to be times where there's players around her that's going to draw a lot of attention, and there's going to be more open shots for her in the league than there is right now. She has a lot of attention on her at Iowa. So it'll be interesting, like fit and like the players around her is also a deciding factor, but I think she's going to continue to get better.
If she asked for your advice, would you say stay, or would you say no? It's time to get to work.
I think it depends where she wants her career to go. But if I was in college and NIL was what it is now, I would be staying until probably like 6 years. You know, college is a great time, and you get. It's like you're making money. You're preparing yourself for after college. It's an opportunity to see what you want to do after basketball. So, if I was in that position, I would stay.
Chelsea, your guys' playing style is the most fun in the league to me. I enjoy watching you guys play. You had a behind-the-back pass to Asia Wilson early in the season. Steph Curry shared it. A lot of people gave it love. Tyrese Halliburton called it the best pass he's ever seen. What did that mean to you?
You know, I just was like, if I'm going to do it, I might as well just try, and it has to be to Asia. I was just like if it's a turnover, it's a huge miss. But, like, everybody will be like, okay, that's just Chelsea.
Look at that.
And so when it connected and she stayed locked in for, like, an extra couple seconds, I was like, oh, I got to throw it. But I kind of set it up in a way that was the only way that I can get it. Could I have made, like, a jump stop and, like, pass with the left hand? Probably. But, I mean, high risk, high reward, you know? So I just tried it, and it was one for the history books for sure.
Your style of play, who would you say that you pattern your game after?
I think it's a combination of a couple things. Like, I used to watch Magic Johnson play all the time, like the flare. I used to watch Tisha Penicheiro that played for the Sacramento Monarchs a lot. The post-up game from the guard position, I would watch the fadeaway like Chris Paul would do. So I think there's a combination, and I just took some things from different people to kind of make my game.
I'm glad you mentioned Chris Paul. He's called the point guard. You're called the point guard. Did I nail it? Shut up.
Kinda.
Yeah, you know what? That was the best I could do. Who's the real point guard?
The guard. You gotta put a little.
It's spelled differently, but you know, I'm gonna say me.
Okay, perfect.
You were on that 2020 Olympics team. Is it true that you beat Draymond in a game of dominoes? Are you a big domino player?
It is true. It is true. Don't let him tell you any different.
Did you win some money?
He maybe a couple more times, but it's very true. I'm nice in dominoes. See me at the. I need the table, the square one. We was on this weird table, like you couldn't slap it down as well. It's kind of affected my game a little bit.
Did you take some money from him?
I can either say yes or no right now.
Any other good stories from that time with the Olympics other than the dominoes that you guys shared or had fun playing? Any other games?
Yeah, we all had like this players lounge, and because it was different, we weren't able to go to different events, and so we had to create like moments in time where we were just chilling, and so we were all at the players lounge. They would either play spades. I mean, we had Uno popping, we had just games. There was game consoles, Xbox, everything. So we were just finding ways to like spend our time because we didn't want to be in our rooms for 2 weeks. We weren't able to be out and like tour and go see places.
She didn't mention Boo-Ray.
No.
Yeah, no Boo.
Right.
Chelsea, besides Draymond, who are some of your favorite athletes in other sports?
I'm a Coco Gauff fan. I like Serena Williams. They're great. I watch tennis a lot. Like, if I wasn't playing basketball, maybe we would try tennis a little bit more. So I really like those two tennis players for sure.
All right, before we let you go, you and your wife expecting your first child. How's that prep go?
Yeah, it was great. It's a journey. Step by step getting better, but I can't wait. I've been excited this whole time. I've been wanting a kid for a while, so I'm glad.
I was gonna say, Danny, you've got a little one, right?
Sleep when the baby sleep.
Yeah.
That's the
Any
advice.
advice?
Sleep when the baby sleep.
I got
when
a
the baby
3-month-old. Yeah, make sure you get your rest. The first month is hectic. Stay on pace. Stay steady. Stay positive.
Stay on pace.
It'll get better. Just keep that in mind. It'll get better.
Wow,
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Sounds daunting when you say it like that. Chelsea, this has been awesome. We appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back in a second. That man has a family. Is next.
The running back, run it up, run it back, run it up, the running back, run it up, run it.
That music, it can only mean one thing. Time for the scoop. Zach LaVine scoop. We've been waiting on a little bit of something, Shams. What do you have?
It was something good.
Yeah, Michelle, Zach LaVine, not good for the Bulls, not good for Zach LaVine. He will be out another 3 to 4 weeks. He's got to treat right foot inflammation, and so he's going to be ending up missing a total of at least 4 to 5 weeks with this injury. Ironically, this takes the Bulls and Zach LaVine right up to January, that mid-January, January 15 date, when all the free agents will be eligible to be traded from last summer. So when you think about teams like the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, those two guys will both be trade eligible come January 15th. And we know what this has been. The Lakers, Sixers, two of the teams expected to have interest in Zach LaVine. And both sides, Zach LaVine, the Bulls, have been open to exploring trade avenues. But for now, Zach LaVine will remain shelved. The Bulls are 3-0 in their last 3 games without Zach LaVine.
Uh-oh.
This is tough news for Chicago. I
Yeah.
feel for him. I think a lot of people forget about Lonzo.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
that's a big reason why they've been struggling the last couple of years. He was the
They have a point guard.
Yeah, and he was the glue guy. He was the mediator. He made it exciting, playing fast, a good passer, a good point guard, and DeMar and Zach could play off him. So without those two now in the lineup, Chicago, and they've already been frustrated, it's going to be even tougher.
We'll see how it works out. Now I think this puts DeMar in a position to lead and really have to carry this team as much as possible. And so that's going to be an interesting dynamic. But sometimes when unfortunate things like this happen on a team, it kind of puts everybody in a position to heighten their games up. And so, like you said, 3-0 since he's been hurt. Hopefully this team can keep this thing going until he gets back or they find him a trade partner or whatever. But, much love to Zach LaVine. Hope you get well soon.
The Josiah Johnson tweet last night, by the way, if you didn't see it, go look at it because he never, ever fails the internet. But it's good. It's basically saying that when LaVine does get traded, all of a sudden he starts walking like Kevin Spacey at the end of Usual Suspects. Bad to good, just like that. Shams, miss you, love you. See you in this studio next week, sir. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy, Shams.
Yes, thank you.
Got a little time, right? For a little That Man Has a Family, maybe a couple.
Yeah, why
Squeeze
not?
them in there. Why not? Let's start with a little Jordan Goodwin.
Oh, no. He stopped time right there, dude.
Oh,
no.
Slide.
Yeah, he can blame that one on the floor a little
Yeah,
bit.
you gotta point to the floor and tell the
clean this
ball
up.
boy, come get this little west spot.
Freak this out, man.
There's something wrong right here.
He gave him a little, Jordan push over there too. A lot of people were upset. Utah fans mostly. They said Jordan pushed off.
We can just speed through this next one. No big deal.
Oh, no.
Wow. That's a big man hezzy right there.
hezzy.
Whee!
Yeah, you don't see that from a big often. That's pretty nice.
He
Nazi,
blocked that one.
he's been working on his game. I'm seeing him making some moves out there.
Nazi
with the
nice.
ball.
You know what, though? You should say something nice here. The Spurs were in this until like the last 5 minutes.
Nah.
Come on, Lou.
That was surprising.
That was a
Thank
good
you.
job.
Because I didn't expect him to be that close.
I didn't either.
Minnesota was going on 6 to 8 point runs whenever they wanted to, man.
Whatever, dude.
Also, it is coming back from the break too.
How about a little with the second lively
this
one in
is
about
nice.
3 days?
This is nice. That help. Hey, weak side help gonna get you every
He
time.
thought he had it too. He was
Weak
a
side
hair.
help gonna do it
He
every
almost
time.
got it. He was right there. And then once he realized he couldn't get it, he tried to jump out the way. It was too late.
This is when your coach tell you, I told you to be in early. You got to start in and then build out. Or this happens.
Koulibaly.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of nasty.
yeah, come on.
Ooh.
Yeah, is there a stare down? Because I do love a stare down.
Paul Reed.
come on,
my God.
Ed.
Paul Reed.
That's my dog. Yeah, you gotta get
It was a stare down. That is kind of nasty.
That was a stare down. It's the best part sometimes.
Was there a technical? Because they usually give those now.
Right? That one felt like a long one. Rashawn Holmes.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
hold on. Is this not the second time we've seen Walker Kessler on the receiving end of one of these this
I think
week?
it's more than 2.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's been a
When
few
you're a
of
big
these.
man, you're always at the rim trying to protect it. You're going to be on some of these highlights, but that was kind of nasty. I didn't know Rashawn could still do that.
This is,
That's impressive. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, that one's good. Taco
What's
ball.
going on here?
I mean, barely even had.
Where are we here? Where?
Now, this is a highlight that shouldn't be. What is this
Where-
guy?
where
What is
are
he
we?
doing?
Well, first of all, we're in 1994, judging from the.
You get a fan.
Oh, it's like. Yeah, what is his team again? I already forgot.
All right.
I mean, that seems
Come on, little man. Oh my.
that seems unfair.
He
No, that
did
kid's hurt.
hurt himself.
What was he thinking?
Well, I mean, he was thinking, this is it. I'm gonna be a hero.
Yeah, he thought he was.
He's infamous.
It's gonna be awesome, and it wasn't. Around the league we go. What do we have tonight? You know what we have. The in-season tournament. New Orleans Lakers.
I'm
Vegas.
excited.
Yeah. So hold on. You're gonna be there,
Yes.
and you're doing like a red. Tell me about the red carpet, Lou.
So the NBA is doing a great job of making this an event. This isn't your usual. I got an email for my ticket package, and you know, I was asked to do the red carpet. So there's gonna be some.
Are you going to dress up?
Which sweats are you gonna wear?
No, I'm probably gonna put on a black hoodie this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna go formal.
Okay.
Formal.
I'm going formal. When I go formal, I do black hoodie. You know, so yeah, that'll be the vibe tonight. But this should be exciting.
I like this. By the way, it's kind of crazy. It's the first meeting that we get to see these two teams play each other. It just so happens to be in this particular game. So
interesting.
who's got the advantage?
Man, I don't think there's any advantage. I think it's kind of like a,
We starting fresh.
yeah. You know, I think both teams kind of
Man,
have the,
it's tournament basketball.
I love
for
that.
sure.
Anybody can win. Anybody can win.
Definitely. But I think this comes down to not the stars in this one. I think it comes down to the role players. And I think that the New Orleans Pelicans role players might be a little hungrier than the Lakers role players.
It's happening?
I'm predicting the first loss in the tournament for the Lakers in the tournament against the
I'm disagreeing with
going
DG
with-
on
I'm going with the underdogs, man.
I'm not rolling, DG. This is Las Vegas. The lights are on. LeBron James. Listen, when the lights are on, that man knows who's the GOAT in the building. He knows who's the star of the show. LeBron James is showing up. He's gonna show out big.
I mean, the refs know too, but
Oh,
Don't start.
whatever. Okay, so we all had this kind of confusion yesterday with, so the Lakers will not be allowed to wear the black jerseys because the court's blue, and they thought it would be distracting or confusing, so they're going to wear the gold. What?
It's okay to have an orange court with orange basketball.
Yeah, I'm a
I
little
think
confused.
That's a very strange reason to not be able to wear uniforms. And if that's the case, change the court. Let the teams wear their.
I also feel like you're giving the Lakers motivation, like, oh, we can't wear what we
Possibly.
want.
But they've been playing well in those jerseys too. I'm sure this might be a mental thing. I don't know if New Orleans called in a favor to Adam Silver, like, yo, get them out of those uniforms, mess with them mentally. But yeah, I think it's strange. I don't know why this is an issue.
I'm a little disappointed we've seen the court already. I was kind of hoping to be surprised this afternoon, but that's all right. Pacers-Bucks is the other game. This is an early start, by the way, so remember that wherever you are to watch early. Pacers won the first time these two played each other, 126-124, and that was the 54-pointer from Giannis. No Dame, though. How do you slow down Giannis in this game, Lou?
You don't. You've always. We've tried everything. Pack the paint, make him shoot jump shots. He has too many weapons with him now. You gotta guard him honestly. You gotta guard him in a way that's not beneficial for you because he has so many guys around him, and you can't really put as much attention on him as you want to. And so, I expect another big night from Giannis, and very much like LeBron, this is a stars show. And so these guys are gonna show up. So with that said, I expect Halliburton to compete as well.
I mean, he's got Dame Lillard back, too. I feel like that's a little
That definitely helps
relief.
him, for sure. It takes the load off of him.
Yeah.
I think Indiana, the only chance they have is to try to get him in foul trouble. And that's by taking some charges. Other than that, like I said, he has too many pieces around him with Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Dame, to pack the paint and try to guard their shooters as well. It's just too much. It's tough. But Indiana just stick to what they know and what they're good at. That's running and scoring. they could try to outscore them, and I think they have a good shot at doing so.
All right, let's call this one. We called the first one. What do you have for
I
this?
got Indiana. I'm going with underdog. And
Okay, underdog.
I think this is an underdog type of
He
tournament.
likes to go against the grass.
I mean, I'm with him,
This
though.
tournament is about
Yeah.
I've been winning so far, so I'm going Milwaukee.
All right, so we literally have opposites on every game. This is perfect.
That's
this
fun,
is gonna
though.
work out. All right,
Makes it
I like it.
interesting.
I like it. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we just want to show you a little Luka for fun.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up.
It's pretty important to come out here and get this win and get it in 50-point. That's resounding fashion.
Yeah, the point I said before the game, we just kept around and we just
Double down.
You haven't been getting sleep.
Nailed it. That was perfectly handled. Okay, Luka had a night. I think we say that a few times. He also got a little chippy during this game, which is always fun to see right here. Right here. Oh, hey, buddy. No, and there it is. So okay, whatever he's saying, it's very irritating to Dunn. What kind of trash talker is Luka, y'all? He's laughing, which can't feel good.
I don't think he's saying much to Dunn. I think Dunn is one of those guys, he gets upset.
I swear I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say, I played with Chris Dunn. I think this is more of a Chris Dunn thing than a Luka thing.
So he just smiles at him and he gets madder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luka does that little smirk, little condescending antics to get under your skin, but he doesn't really say much. I don't know if you know this, Michelle, I have a little Slovenian, not citizenship, but I played there a while ago, so he respects me. I haven't heard any trash talk toward me, and I think Lou is such a great player, he probably didn't trash talk Lou, so we didn't hear much of his trash talk.
Did he trash talk you?
No, I've never heard him talk trash to anybody.
No.
You know
He
what
used
I
to
think?
kick our ass, but he
That's
did
what
it
it
quietly.
is. I think he does that thing where you,
He did it quietly.
like he did it very quiet, and then he smiles, which makes people very angry when you do things to them and then you smile on top of it. Like that's what he was doing right there, which I kind of like.
Yeah, that'll send me over the top.
Exactly.
If you have a first half triple-double and you're smiling and you're kind of arrogant, that's going to send me over the edge.
I might lose it. Danny, first week, how you feel?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hope to be back, man. I enjoyed it.
What would you change? If
The
you
time.
Okay, yep, that's the answer
The
we were
hour.
looking for.
Getting up at 5 a.m. is not my greatest moments. I'd have more energy. I would still have good energy. You guys bring great energy.
I feel like once you're out here, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm awake now.
It's a lot of fun.
You can crash right
It's
after.
easy. I get to talk basketball, be casual, kick it back. It's like barbershop talk.
Did you learn anything from him?
I learn stuff from Lou all the time. Every time I play against Lou or play with Lou, or he's a
mentor.
basketball mind. He's a genius, and he scores. Basketball genius.
Hey, you know
in a
what?
different way.
I'm going to take the compliment.
Are you really?
Yes, I'm going to take it.
Okay, so you go to Vegas. We've talked about that. Any other? Are you just going basketball, or is this like a fun?
Vegas is Vegas,
It's both.
the in-season tournament gave me great incentive to go, and so I look forward to watching the games and being a part of the experience. So I'll see it up close and personal. I'll tell y'all about it.
Do you cheer when you're at games, or are you
No,
quiet?
I do not.
Okay, so you just sit very stoically.
I just enjoy.
That's what basketball geniuses do.
That's right.
Study the game.
Just study
Just
it.
enjoy
Make
it.
mental notes so you can bring them back on Monday. Because we are done. It is Thursday. It is our Friday. We will be back here bright and early on Monday. Danny, this was
great
awesome.
week, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Yes, sir.
Run it up, run it back, 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 run it up, and run it back,